The Galactic Dominion had fought countless wars. They had crushed primitive civilizations, outmaneuvered highly advanced ones, and absorbed thousands of species into their empire. But there was one species they could not conquer: humans. The Dominion's War Council, a gathering of the most brilliant alien strategists, sat in a dark chamber aboard the command ship Sifarian. The Supreme Commander, Psylocke, a towering reptilian being with razor-sharp talons, reviewed the latest battle reports. They were grim. Once again, the humans had won. "This is impossible," Psylocke hissed, slamming a clawed fist on the table. "Their weapons are inferior. Their fleets are scattered. Their strategy is reckless, and yet they win." General Zoc, an insectoid warrior with multifaceted eyes, clicked his mandibles in frustration. "Every simulation predicts their defeat. They should have surrendered years ago, but they don't," Psylocke growled. "Find out why." A Dominion intelligence team was dispatched to study humanity. These alien operatives infiltrated human society, disguised as diplomats, traders, and scholars. They studied history, military doctrines, and battle strategies. They analyzed human psychology, philosophy, and even art. And what they found was terrifying. The Dominion had always believed that victory came from superior firepower, flawless tactics, and overwhelming numbers. But humans fought differently. They fought with something the Dominion did not understand. They fought with heart. One agent, Keithera, disguised as a human researcher, attended a war veterans gathering. She listened to an old soldier recount the Battle of Sol, where Earth's forces had been outnumbered 50-1. "We should have lost," the veteran admitted. "Our ships were burning, our colonies were in ruins. But we had one thing they didn't: we refused to quit." Thera tilted her head. "Even when there was no hope?" The veteran smiled, especially then. She continued attending human military training programs, observing how they conditioned their soldiers. Unlike Dominion forces, who trained for efficiency and discipline, humans trained for chaos. They simulated the worst possible scenarios, forcing their troops to adapt, improvise, and persist no matter the odds. Keithera interviewed a human general and asked, "What is your battle doctrine?" The general chuckled. "Doctrine? We don't have one. Plans fall apart in war. We improvise, we endure, and we never give up." This only deepened the Dominion's confusion. Another report detailed an incident on a war-torn colony. A small squad of human Marines had held their ground against a Dominion attack for 3 days without food, sleep, or reinforcements. When they were finally overrun, the last surviving soldier had used his own body to shield a wounded comrade. Even in death, he refused to let his friend die alone. The Dominion could not comprehend this. Aliens fought for territory, resources, or orders. Humans fought for each other. Dominion officers were bewildered by the way humans treated their wounded. On a Dominion warship, injured soldiers were often abandoned if their survival was inefficient. Yet humans went to extraordinary lengths to save even a single life. One report mentioned a captured human soldier who had been interrogated for days. When finally released in a prisoner exchange, he returned to the battlefield without hesitation. "He should have been broken," Zoc remarked after reading the report. "Why did he fight again?" Keithera answered, "Because he wasn't fighting for himself. He was fighting for his people." The more the Dominion studied, the more disturbing their findings became. Humans embraced suffering. They made art about war, not to glorify it, but to remember. They turned their tragedies into stories, songs, and legends. They passed down the memories of fallen warriors, ensuring they were never forgotten. Humans did not fight because they were ordered to. They fought because they chose to. They found meaning in struggle, in defiance, in never surrendering. Worse still, humans did not fear death the way other species did. Where Dominion soldiers broke under pressure, humans found strength in adversity. Their belief in sacrifice, courage, and resilience made them impossible to break. Reports came in of human forces making impossible comebacks. Ships that should have been destroyed managed to repair themselves mid-battle and fight on. Civilians on conquered worlds formed underground resistance networks, striking back even when the war was seemingly lost. A Dominion officer tasked with studying human battle history made an alarming discovery. In every major war they had ever fought, the humans had started as the underdogs, and yet they always emerged victorious. They do not accept defeat, the officer noted. For them, losing a battle is not the end of the war, it is merely a setback. The final report was presented to Supreme Commander Xylox. Their greatest weapon is not their technology, Cathera said. It is their spirit. Humans can lose everything, homes, families, entire planets, and still fight on. Xylox clenched his jaw. Then we must break their spirit. Cathera shook her head. You can't. Their history is filled with suffering beyond imagination, and yet they survive, they fight, and they win. Xylox remained silent for a long time. Then he made a decision that would change the course of history. Cease all attacks on humanity, he ordered. We cannot defeat them. As the Dominion withdrew from human-controlled space, the War Council watched in silence. They had never abandoned a war before. It was an admission of failure, something their empire had never experienced. But Xylox understood that humans were not just another enemy. They do not fight for conquest or greed, he muttered. They fight because they refuse to be broken. The council was left shaken. If the humans were ever to turn their sights on the Dominion, would they be able to resist them? And so the Galactic Dominion withdrew, leaving humanity undefeated. Not because of superior firepower, not because of advanced strategy, but because of something far more powerful, an unbreakable will. The humans had won again. And the Dominion would never challenge them again. But in the darkest corners of the Empire, some began to wonder. What if one day the humans decide that we are the enemy?